this is Shweta from Dharamshala Animal Rescue.
Hi everyone, this is Amy with Primates Incorporated and ReelTime Animal Rescue.
Hello everyone, this is Becky, a Blue for the Horse-Linkshire Misfit Mustangs.
ReelTime Animal Rescue with Julie McLaughlin of Indiana Skunk Rescue.
Yep, get her. You got her? Judy, God bless you. Oh my God.
This is a big brown bat who is really enjoying his mealworms.
They actually just had their breakfast.
Hello and welcome. I'm Krista Embry, founder of ReelTime Animal Rescue and Compassion Education Connect and Inspire. What you're about to see today is happening right now in the real world, and you're going to meet people who are helping animals and protecting our planet. When you learn with compassion, you don't just gain knowledge, you create change. So today isn't just about watching, it's about you and the difference you can make in our world. Welcome to Compassion Education Connect and Inspire. We're so glad you're here.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Matthew Hudson, and I'm here at the Layla Rose Ranch Equine Rescue in Texas. We're in the north part of Texas with my good friend, Miss Shelby here. So now, today we're going to teach you a lot of things about horses that you've always wanted to know, but a couple of things before I get going. Number one, make sure that we have you guys muted so you can hear me just fine. Your screen's off. Looks like what you're doing is perfect and doing great. And then I'm going to go through the information with Miss Shelby. We're going to share. And then when I'm done, if you have questions or if something I said, you're like, hey, tell me more about that, we'll make sure we have time at the end to tell you more about that. Now, every one of the horses or donkeys or miniatures that we have here at Layla Rose Ranch are rescues, meaning that they've not had the best life. Most of the horses that we deal with have been either abused or forgotten, neglected, left. So they've been given up on by people and humans. And so we come in and rescue them and bring them in. We try to get them back to health, and then we look to find them forever homes, right? And so Miss Shelby today is going to help us teach you a little thing about horses. So if you ever want to own a horse yourself or be around them, some of the fun things you need to know about horses themselves. Now, Miss Shelby right here is a female. Now, females are called mares, right? They're called mares. The boys, are called stallions or geldings, right? And so behind me, you can show them, there's a couple of geldings right there. Hollister, the black one, and then Lucky, the one beside him, the white one. Lucky's a Tennessee Walker. So both of them are horses that have been abused, neglected, or had problems in their past, and they're now living with us. Now, here's the question. Which one do you think, when these guys are all out of the barn and they're out roaming the pasture, which one do you think's the boss? Do you think it's the gelding, the boys, or do you think it's the mare, the girls? Well, if you said mare, if you raise your hand on mare, you are right, Shelby, in fact, is the boss mare, meaning that of all the girls that live on this ranch, she's the boss and tells everybody what to do. Now, the main way Shelby tells people what to do is not by yelling at them or making loud noises. She uses her ears. The ears are very sensitive on a horse. Now, if you'll watch, you can see the ears right here can swivel almost 180 degrees. See how I can turn her ear all the way around? Now, that's so that if something's ahead of her, she can turn in here, and if something's behind her, she can turn in here. But when she's not happy with me, she'll put those ears down and pin them. So if she walks into the pasture and she sees a couple of horses aren't acting right, she wants to go break them up or tell them what to do, she'll walk over, she'll look at them, pin her ears, and they're like, ooh, better do what Shelby says and back away. So she doesn't have to say anything. She does it all through that. Now, her ears are incredibly sensitive. Now, they're not like dogs that can hear these sounds that are like really high pitched, but you can't hear them, right? What they are, though, is that they can hear off far distances. In fact, Miss Shelby here can hear a sound up to 2 miles away. So imagine when the storms are coming here in Texas, Shelby starts to gather the herd up and get them into safety long before we're worried about the rain, because she can hear the thunder and she knows what's coming, don't you, baby? And so she is very, very alert, and that's the way all of them are. So when they're behind, something's behind, her ears will turn this way. When the noise is up front, her ears will turn back around to the front. Now, come down here and we see their eyes. Now, you'll notice on their eyes, they're on the side of their head, right? That's because horses are prey animals. Now, prey animals means that they're worried that other animals are going to eat them, right? And that's what they have to think about all the time. Because in the wild, that's what happens. There are animals who will eat horses for their meat. So they're always worried about getting eaten, and they really are. In fact, there's a little dog that lives next door, a little wiener dog. You know what those little wiener dogs look like? When he breaks out and comes in here, the horses are all like, oh my gosh, and they're scared of it. And so I got a picture of this little bitty dog and these big horses that are scared of it because they think it might eat them, right? But what the eyes being on the side allow them to see and have a really broad angle, because you and I can only see here, right? But they can see all the way around the side. However, there's a disadvantage to that. What I want you guys to do is I want you to take your hands, okay? And I want you to put your hand right across your face, just like that, okay? Now, do you see how you can see? You can still see to the one side or the other of your hand, right? But that's what it looks like for a horse, right? So when you're working with horses, what we don't do is we never come up and touch them straight on the nose, because that's what people want to do. When they first approach the horse, a lot of times they want to come right up and pet them on the pretty nose. However, if I come straight on, Shelby can't see me. See her turn her head so she can see me? So when you approach a horse, always come to the side where their eyes are and pet them here on the neck first. Once they know you're there, then you can come around and pet them on the nose. The same thing is true about the back. Never come up behind a horse where their tail is, because they're prey animals, they're always worried about getting eaten. If they hear a noise or somebody coming up behind them, they will jump, they will kick, and you might get kicked, okay? Now, these eyes are really sensitive at night. They work great at night, have great night vision, like wearing night vision goggles. They can see everything. But do you think they can see color? Do you know that horses can see 3 colors? They can see blue, they can see yellow, and they can see green. Those are the 3 colors that the horses can see, is blue, yellow, and green. Now, everything else is just kind of shades of gray, what they see, right? Now, Shelby here is about 12 years old. Horses, on the average, live to be about 30. It's about 30 years old is about how they live, although there are horses who have lived to be 50. Now, when we get them into a rescue, we really don't know when they were born, right? We don't know where they were born. They don't have birth certificates like regular people, the ones that we get, right? So how do I know how old Miss Shelby is? Well, what's interesting is Miss Shelby will tell me, as all horses will tell me, by their teeth, okay? So we're going to look at Miss Shelby's teeth. Shelby, can we show them your teeth? All right. You see that little groove that goes right down the center? Open them up more, baby. There you go. Goes right down the center there, that little line that's going down. It's got to do with one hand there, in. That line is what tells me how old she is. When she's born, she has no line in the middle of her teeth. As she's aging, that line comes down through her teeth, and when it gets to the bottom, she's 15. So that's why you saw it was down about 3/4 of the way. So that's why we're saying she's about 11, 12, somewhere in there. When it gets to the bottom, then it works its way back up and dissolves. So eventually, back up 30 years. So that's usually about how long they live. Horses cannot live without their teeth because they have to be able to chew their food, right? And so therefore, teeth are very important. In fact, all of our horses have to see a dentist once a year. We have a dentist come here and they do the same thing your dentist does. They clean the teeth off, but they actually take a little grinder and grind them down, okay, in order to make them so they get really sharp because of eating so much all the time. So we have to be careful about that. Now, speaking of eating, okay, this horse loves to eat. In fact, all horses love to eat. Each day, they eat about 1% of their body weight. So Miss Shelby here weighs about 1,070 pounds, almost 1,100 pounds. The average weight of a horse is between 1,000 and 1,200 pounds, so somewhere in between there, right? And so that 1% equates to about 25 pounds of hay a day, 25 pounds of hay, right? So that's why when you see horses out in the pasture and they're just eating all day long, it takes a long time to eat 25 pounds of grass, right? And that's what we see happening all the time. Now, in this situation, that would be like you guys going to McDonald's and eating 100 quarter pounders with cheese in one day. Now, going to McDonald's sounds great, but I don't know if I could eat 100 quarter pounders with cheese, right? That's a lot. Now, horses eat different types of hay, and it's based on their diet. Just like some of you might be allergic to nuts or might be allergic to dairy or cheese, horses have the same issue. And so sometimes we feed them teff, sometimes we feed them timothy, sometimes we feed them alfalfa. So there's different hays we feed them based on their health and their body, what they have. Now, they drink a lot of water, just like you and I. They need lots of water, just like we do every day. In fact, a horse like Miss Shelby will drink at least 10 gallons of water a day. And in Texas here, when it gets up to 100 during the summers, Shelby will drink more like 20 gallons of water a day. So to put that in perspective for you, a lot of you probably brought a water bottle to school today, right? Maybe you're a little Stanley or you're a Walla or something, you have a little water bottle. That would be like filling that water bottle up 64 times and drinking it each and every day. Imagine that, 64 water bottles a day. That's what Miss Shelby will drink in a day. Now, my favorite part about horses, though, is how sensitive they are. In fact, if you watch and see, watch what Miss Shelby's back here when I touch it, okay? See it flicker? See it move? See, she's moving her back a little bit. She can tell when I'm touching her. She can feel a fly on her back. That's how sensitive horses are. They can feel a fly. But more importantly than that, they can sense your heartbeat. Miss Shelby can sense my heartbeat up to 4 feet away. So I could be all the way over here, and she can still know if something's going on. Now, my wife has a horse named Cletus, and she calls Cletus her heart horse because Cletus can sense her heart, and knows what's going on with her. So if my wife is sad or having a bad day, Cletus can sense that because he can sense her heartbeat, and he'll come over and he'll put his head right in her chest and he'll give her a big hug and say, it's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. But it's also why horses spook a lot, because if you're scared, what does your heart do? It goes really fast, right? And they feel that. And so if your heart's going fast, they're like, there must be something wrong. And so they go on alert and they start worrying that something's wrong, right? Because they're sensing your heartbeat. So anytime you approach the horse, even though it's exciting, you never run up, you never jump. You got to go nice and calm. You remain calm. And like I said, you start right here on the side, and then you work your way around in order to the front to say hi. That part. So Shelby lives with us here at the ranch, and her job is doing things just like this, right? All the other horses that we have, eventually their job is to go find somewhere else to do it. So in fact, let's take a little bit of a tour and meet some of the other horses, if you don't mind. We'll start back here with Mr. Cletus. So I'm going to let you roam. Mr. Cletus here. Come here, buddy. You come say hi. This is Cletus. Cletus is a Tennessee Walker. Okay. He is friends with Miss Shelby. In fact, they hang out together a lot. He's the boss when it comes to the boys. Now, she's the boss mare overall, but he's the boss when it comes to the boys. Now, we come down here and we meet Mr. Buddy. Now, this is Mr. Buddy. Mr. Buddy, now he's one of our really bad abuse cases, right? He had all kinds of problems and all kinds of issues when we first got him in. In fact, he had so much of an injury that we had to, come here, Mr. Buddy, come here. Can you show them? Show them. I know you're embarrassed. I know you don't like us to show it. But if you can see on the side, he's missing his eye. And that's because we had to take it because he had been beaten so bad by someone who was so mean to him. And Mr. Buddy, yep, are you getting the dentist today? Yes, you're going to have your teeth done with the dentist. This right here is Miss Dixie. Hi, Miss Dixie. Say hi, baby. Miss Dixie was also a rescue, and she's been with us a couple of years. So we use her to help train, is what we use her for. So she kind of lives here as well. And she, well, eventually you might go get a home, right? But for now, she just kind of lives here with that. And then we'll go down and say hi to Hollister. This is Mr. Hollister. Now, Hollister right here, see, he's the shy one too when it comes to cameras about that. But Mr. Hollister, he's beautiful, right? He's about 12 years old, excuse me. But Mr. Hollister got snuck out of his pasture and he got hit by a car, and the people who owned him didn't do anything about it. They just said, oh, he'll be fine. Well, he isn't fine, right? Are you, baby? You have all kinds of issues that you have to deal with, right? All kinds of pain and medicines that we have to keep him on to take care of him. But Mr. Lucky down here, now he's different. Mr. Lucky, he is in great shape, aren't you? Say, I am a Tennessee walker, which means that I am very special. And when I walk really in a special gait, right? Now he is 10 years old, and he is ready for looking for his forever home. He's up for adoption, just like Hollister, just like Buddy and the others that you saw. So he is ready for his forever home as well in the process. So there you go. That's Layla Rose Ranch. We have more horses, but some are out working. Oh, Rita, you're back. I didn't see you. Hi, Miss Rita. Now, Miss Rita is a Mustang. Okay, she is a Mustang. In fact, she was a wild Mustang out on the plains that was rounded up. And now we have her, and we've got her in training. She was out training this morning. And so she's getting her breakfast because you had a lot of workout, didn't you? Yeah, you had a good workout, didn't you, Rita? And so Rita will be looking for her forever home too. She's ready to go as well. So there you have it. All the horses of, some of the horses of Layla Rose Ranch Horse Rescue, and some of the fun facts about them that we have. Now, I promised you at the beginning, if you had some questions, I would love to answer any questions that you have or anything else. So what do you guys have for me? Is there anything I didn't talk about that you want to know, or something that we talk more about? In the classroom, you guys can unmute and just ask your question if you want. No questions?
We'll be writing to you with some special letters.
Okay. You're writing with us with some special letters. Thank you very much. There's a yawn. Yeah. Did that work? I did all the work. Why are you acting like that? I did all the work. You shouldn't be so tired. You shouldn't be so tired. Okay.
Ready for the button to be here.
Yeah. So.
Go for today. You're being something.
All right. Well, we thank you guys for showing up. Take care. We'll see you again.